Have you ever looked at someone who's different, unique, individual? Have you ever looked at them and said, you're special? Or have you ever criticized them for being different? For not being like everyone else? Or have you ever been criticized for not being like everyone else? Have you been treated differently? Honestly, that shouldn't be the case. Because just because someone's different, just because someone isn't the same as everyone else, doesn't mean that they have to be treated any differently. It doesn't mean that they need to be talked down to. It doesn't mean they need to be criticized. I mean, say if someone loses their legs and has to spend the rest of their life in a cast and wheelchair. Sure, they may not be able to do some of the things that they used to be able to do, but that doesn't mean that mentally they need to be treated any different. I mean, sure, they can't do some stuff, but that's mentally. I mean, that's physically. That's physically. That's all physical stuff. But that doesn't mean they lose their personality. They still have the same personality. They're still the same person. And let's say in, like, teenagers. On the subject of teenagers, like, why would I want to be like every other person in the school? Why would I want to be, like, looking back, like, say I'm older and I'm looking back at school memories. Why would I want to remember being one of the crowd, just another one of the crowd, when I can look back and say when I can look back and say I stood out from the crowd? Why would I want to be just another clone of a teenager? Just another one of them who likes the same exact things, dislikes the same exact things, and everything else. Like, why would... I mean, there are people like that who, if the crowd doesn't like it, then they don't like it. But why should you be criticized for liking something that everyone else doesn't like? Or why should you be criticized for not liking something that other people like? And it's sad, really. It's sad how people just shun people for not liking a certain thing or liking a certain thing. Like, maybe you have friends. Maybe you have friends who are your best friends. You had great times together. You did everything together. And one day you say, I like this certain thing, or like or your friend brings up a subject and it's like, I don't like that. And and suddenly you're not friends anymore. It's like, hey, I like this show. Just for example. Like, I like this show, and I want to hear your opinion on it. And they're like, well, I don't like this show. I don't like that show. And since the opinion's completely different, that means that there can't be a connection. It's like, my friend has to like the same exact things that I do. There's no exceptions at all. And the sad part is, that's true. Some friends have broken up, so to speak, because of something as silly as not liking the same, or not having the same opinion on a subject. I mean, I mean, we don't all have to like the same thing. We don't all have to be the same way. Why, like, seriously, what's the point of being like everyone else? People are just gonna look back at you. People are just gonna look back at you and say, that's just another one of the crowd. That's just another person who's exactly like everyone else. I mean, I personally would want to be looked back. I want people to look at I want people to look back at me and say that was an interesting guy. He wasn't the same as everyone else. He was weird. He was crazy. Well, not crazy in a bad way, but the point is he was different from other people. And I don't want them to look back at me and say, like, oh, that's just another one person. Another one of those, really. And in the same thing goes with, like, with friends breaking up. The same thing goes with liking My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Non-bronies, you can stop the video now. But anyway, liking that show. I mean, say there's a friend and it's like, hey, I like My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. And it's like, you're weird. I don't have the same opinion. And it's like, you should try and watch it if you want to. And then it's like, no, I'm not gonna watch it. You know, I'm not gonna be friends with it anymore because I don't want to be seen with the guy who watches My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. I don't want to be seen with you anymore. Please go away. I have a reputation to protect. Did I just say reputation? I think I did. Okay. Anyway. And, I mean, it's sad, really. I mean, it's sad how just because it's different from the norm, it's different from society, and it shouldn't be, because that's just society's standards. That's just standards that you can't, or not you can't, but you shouldn't like what you want to like. Like, you can't like a certain thing, and if you do, then you should be shunned for it. You should be criticized. And that shouldn't be. I don't feel like that should be. I feel like that's not right. I mean, is society gonna change eventually? I sorta doubt it. I sorta doubt eventually people are going to be able to like whatever they like, whether it be TV shows, video games, whatever. People are I mean, it is just a line that you cannot cross. It is just a line that you shouldn't cross. I mean, oh, welcome back, non-bronies, by the way. But anyway, I mean, that shouldn't be. For anything. People should be able to like whatever it is they like. Whatever it is, and not be treated any differently. Especially afterwards. I mean, I can kind of understand not wanting to be complete friends with a guy because you don't have the same opinion from the get-go. But if you've known someone for years, like years and years, they've been your best friend, and then one random day, you just talk on a random conversation, and then just bam, you're not friends anymore. It's like, what? I mean, like I said, I can sort of understand not wanting to be friends with someone because they have a different opinion of you. It's still not right in my opinion, but that's a bit more understandable. But knowing someone for a long time and then that kind of thing happens and then you're not friends anymore, that's just not right. They're still the same friend. It's just a like one tiny different opinion. Maybe it's a bunch of different opinions. Maybe one person loves vegetables, one person loves candy, one person loves books, one person loves movies, one person loves video games, one person hates video games. And you guys are still friends. I don't get it. It's just today's society just anyway, I can't talk any longer. This has been the guy with no nickname. Now see you guys in my next Let's Talk. Stay different, guys. Stay different.